Good evening, fellow strongman fans. What is up? My name is Kai. I'm the Nerd of Strength, and this is my recap for Day 2 of the World's Strongest Man 2021. So I'm going to keep this recap short, sweet, and simple because today all the groups only did one event. Groups 1, 4, and 5 all did the fingers, and groups 2 and 3 did the train push. For any of you that are new to Strongman, the reason why some groups have varying events is to keep it more interesting for the TV production and for the viewers at home. Does it seem fair to certain athletes? Absolutely not. But once again, World's Strongest Man is a TV show first and a competition second. Personally, I do enjoy the variations because it does get taxing watching 5 hours of all 25 athletes doing the same events over and over. So I do like a little bit of variation. Is it fair? Well, that's up for debate, but that's not what we're here to discuss right now. Now, even though the groups only did one event today, trust me, there was a lot of drama, controversy, and a couple of injuries yet again. And before we get into the results of all the heats, let's just update you with an injury report. Unfortunately, Chris van den Leed of South Africa has withdrawn from the competition. As of this moment, we don't know what his actual injuries are, but it was posted officially by World's Strongest Man that he has pulled out from the competition. That leaves Group 4 with only 3 athletes left: Konstantin Janashia, Jerry Pritchett, and Adam Bishop. And speaking of Group 4, while Jerry Pritchett is still in the competition, he has stated that he does have issues with his hip and a bit of nerve damage, but he's powering through and still continuing throughout the competition. So be sure to definitely cheer for Jerry tomorrow, as I'm sure he's going to kick some ass and go full throttle in the last 3 events. With that out of the way, let's go on to the results. For Group 1, they had the fingers, and of course, Brian Shaw won that with ease. In fact, Brian Shaw was the only athlete in all 3 groups that did the fingers to complete all 5. Then in second was Ivar Smock-Stellis, flipping over 4 fingers in a time of 31.38 seconds. Travis Ortmeyer in third, again with 4 as well, in a time of 31.75. Maxime Boudreau in fourth with 4 fingers at a time of 41.07, and Gavin Bilton in fifth with 4 fingers at 46.62 seconds. Like in my prediction, of course Brian Shaw won this event. This is his event. Brian is the best in the world at fingers, and I think the only person who can truly give him a run for his money on this would be Big Z and Thor. More interesting, though, is that Ivar Smock-Stellis only pipped Travis Ortmeyer by only 1/4 of a second. And an event like this is not just about power, but also about speed. So Ivars are still in the fight to make it to the stone-off, but Travis is giving up a good fight as well. After the fingers, Brian Shaw is comfortably in first place with 13.5 points. Maxime Boudreau in second with 10 points, Ivar Smock-Stellis in third with 9.5 points, Travis Ortmeyer in fourth with 7 points, and Gavin Bilton in fifth with 5 points. Then going on to Group 2, this is where a bit of controversy started. So not only did the event start late, but they had to change the event midway through. So originally, this event was supposed to be the train pull and not the train push. The train pull was supposed to have the athlete strapped in with a harness and use a rope to pull the train. However, there was a malfunction with the train, and apparently either the brake was either stuck or due to the heat expanded and didn't move fully. Unfortunately, from what I've heard, both Johnny Hansen and Evan Singleton both gave it a try and went through the course in 1 minute, and neither one of them could pull it. And I really do feel for the guys. Like, they expended extra energy they didn't have to on this event because of a malfunction. In testing, the train pull went fine. Even equipment testers like Irvin Teutsch and Ken McClellan tested the apparatus just fine, but for some reason they didn't account for the historic heat wave in Sacramento, which put a damper in the plans. It does suck that Johnny Hansen and Evan Singleton both had to be the guinea pigs for them to realize, oh my god, the train doesn't work. They just assume that they just couldn't pull it, and that sucks. However, this is not the first time this has happened in a pull event at a strongman competition. Just go back to the Arnold Santa Monica 2019 where Jerry Pritchett was pulling a fire truck with the brakes still on, or go back even further to the 1987 Pure Strength where Cass was pulling the train and it just didn't move. So with that being said, they let Johnny and Evan rest and restarted the train pull as a train push instead. So scrapping the harness and the rope, the athletes got behind the caboose of the train and they also lowered the weight to a supposed 80 tons to only 25 tons, getting rid of one of the train cars and only having the athletes push the caboose. The guys got behind the caboose and pushed it forward for, I believe, a 25-meter course. And as you can see, the times are pretty close to each other, so it wasn't that heavy of an event after the change. In Group 2, Johnny Hansen came in first with a time of 35.86 seconds, Trey Mitchell in second with a time of 36.31 seconds, Tom Stoltman in third with 37.83 seconds, Evan Singleton in fourth with 39.73 seconds, and Mark Felix in fifth with a time of 42.58 seconds. So even with expending extra energy, Johnny Hansen did really well at this event. Now I knew he was going to be good at truck pull, especially because of his mass, but I actually had Tom winning this event. The change probably did trip him up, but hey, Tom still has enough points to be comfortably in the lead. The results for Group 2 after Day 2 is Tom Stoltman in first with 12 points, Mark Felix and Trey Mitchell tied for second with 9 points, Johnny Hansen in fourth with 8 points, and surprisingly, Evan Singleton in fifth place with only 7 points. Remember, this is only Day 2, and they have one more day of heat events to follow. I'm sure Evan is going to turn up the intensity tomorrow on some of his best events, including the overhead medley. So things will definitely change up. As you can see, the points from second to fifth are pretty close to each other. But at this point, I think Tom has comfortably seated himself in first and will be going straight through to the finals. Then moving on to Group 3, who also did the train push, we have Ithor Ingolson Melstead in first with a time of exactly 37 seconds. Robert Oberst in second with a time of 37.53 seconds. JF Karan in third with a time of 41.19 seconds. And Mikhail Shivlikov in fourth with a time of 44.12 seconds. Once again, with the event changing up on the fly and the event not being as heavy, you can see that the times are pretty close to each other, with Ithor only beating out Robert by 0.53 seconds. That's insane. This is something I thought Oberst would come in first at, especially because of his size, but second is not bad. Beating guys like JF and Mikhail gives him valuable points after yesterday when he zeroed in the squat. For some reason, the World's Strongest Man Backstage Live Access show did not post up results for the standings for Group 3, so I'm taking them off the Strongman archive. And don't worry, they're accurate and they are the same. Once again, World's Strongest Man just didn't put up an official graphic. So much for professionalism, especially when you paid $3 to watch it on Facebook. So for Group 3, JF Karan is in first with 12 points. Ithor Ingolson Melstad is in second with 10 points. Mikhail Shivlikov and Robert Oberst are in joint third with 9 points. So definitely a surprising shakeup for Group 3 so far. Especially with them losing Luke Richardson, it's anybody's game between the three of them on who will go to the last man standing stone off. I think Ithor is definitely surprising a lot of people. And if Oberst isn't on his game tomorrow, he will definitely miss out on the stone off, and it will be between Shivlikov and Melstead. Anybody's game. Now going back to the Fingles Fingers, once again, Group 4 only had 3 guys compete in it, and Jerry Pritchett came in first with 4 fingers in a time of 41.19 seconds. Konstantin Janashia in second with 3 fingers in 26.48 seconds, and Adam Bishop in third with 3 fingers in 27.21 seconds. Now, I'm not saying that they don't have to go as hard. These three are still fighting for positions in the finals. And of course, none of them want to do the last man standing Atlas stones if they don't have to. Now, even though Jerry talked about how his hip was hurting and he might have just a bit of nerve damage, he still powered through and went beast mode on the Fingal's fingers and flipped 4 of them, coming in first, giving him valuable points. Jerry's never a quitter, always a fighter, and that's why we love him, so I'm definitely rooting for him. Now, surprisingly, I had Constantine winning this event because out of this group, he was the only one that has done them in competition before, but still getting second on this event is valuable points, and that's good for him. Maybe he's preserving himself and saving his tricep for the overhead medley tomorrow. We'll see. Now, once again, because there's only 3 athletes in Group 4, the standings look like this. Constantine Gymnasia in first with 13 points, Jerry Pritchett in second with 10 points, and Adam Bishop in third with 9. Oddly enough, this is another year where Adam is skating by and skinning his teeth, where guys have been getting injured in his group. It's anybody's game between the 3 of them tomorrow. And finally, we have Group 5, which also did the Fingal's fingers. Alexei Novikov came in first with 4 fingers in a time of 28.44 seconds. Luke Stoltman in second with 4 in 28.92 seconds. Bobby Thompson in third with 4 in 36.25 seconds. Kevin Ferris in fourth with 4 fingers in 36.31 seconds. And Irving Teutsch in fifth with 3 fingers in 29.44 fingers. And once again, Group 5 putting on an absolute show for everybody. If only we can see it. Any of the 4 out of 5 members of this group deserve to be in the finals, and literally anybody can make it. It's insane to think about. This truly is the group of death. I mean, look at those times. First and second only separating by 0.5 of a second. Third and fourth only being... And for this one, you know what? I'm not even shocked. I had Bobby winning the Fingals solely due to his pressing power, but definitely speed played a factor. I did say Novikov was going to be like Mariusz Pudzianowski and go beast mode on this event, and he absolutely showed up. After having a lackluster first day, he definitely turned it on today, and he's hungry. But he has stated in a YouTube video that at this point he knows he's not playing for first in his group and is content with going into the stone-off. So he's definitely going to save energy so he can be fresh for the stone-off tomorrow. Now it's only a matter of who is he going to face. Currently, the standings for Group 5 are also very tight at the top. In tied first place are Luke Stoltman and Bobby Thompson with 11 points. And in tied third place are Alexei Novikov and Kevin Ferris with 10 points. And unfortunately, Irving Teutsch is at the bottom with only 3 points. Literally, nobody can make mistakes tomorrow in this group. And it's going to be nail-biting to see who goes through in first and who has to do the stone-off. At this point, especially looking at the events, it actually looks like Luke is going to go through in first, and Bobby and Alexei are going to have to face each other off in the stone-off. But if they're not too careful, Kevin can sneak in there too. So there you have it, folks. That is my recap of Day 2 of the World's Strongest Man 2021. Tomorrow is the last day of events for the qualifying heats, and all of the groups will be doing the overhead medley, pickaxe hold, and the athletes in second and third positions will be doing the last man standing Atlas stones. Tomorrow is going to be a nail biter. Hopefully somebody at the event could take a little bit of undercover live streams, because this is something you don't want to miss out on. Especially keep a lookout for group number 5. It's going to be heartbreaking. Once again, guys, thank you all for watching my video. My name is Kai. I am the Nerd of Strength. If you like what I do, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Also, check me out on Patreon, Ko-fi, Twitch, and Instagram, all under Nerd of Strength. And lastly, I want to give a shout out yet again to the Strongman Reddit and StrongmanArchives.com for keeping us up to date on all of the happenings at World's Strongest Man. Definitely check them out. Links in the description below.